Daily Mail, February 12th, a.k.a. Mail Time at the Midday. If I actually keep doing this, there's zero chance I could go with the name Daily Mail. That's just straight up copyright problems. I'm just jacking that name. So eventually this will probably morph into Mail Time at the Midday. But for right now, nobody knows about this show, so I'm calling it fucking Daily Mail. It's KFC coming to you pre-recorded from my apartment. I'm just miserable, uncomfortable, shoulder still hurts. I'm cracking stick left-handed. I can barely shower. It's just a goddamn fiasco at this point. I got to start out with the news yesterday. I use the term news lightly. House of Cards leaked on Netflix. And white people went bananas over this shit. House of Cards season 3 was up for like 20 minutes. I think if you got on right at the exact moment, you probably could have watched half an episode. I'm sure there's probably some like maniac hackers who somehow like downloaded every episode and streamed it and shit. But for the most part, it was up for like 25 seconds, and white people just went crazy. White folks love House of Cards. It's like it was like Jordan's being released, or like when Beyonce dropped her album overnight unexpectedly. People went nuts. And it's kind of ridiculous, too, because obviously Netflix just drops entire seasons at a time. So, like, is it really getting leaked if just like a week or two from now they're going to do it anyway? It's not like they're planning on releasing one episode every week and, like, it ruined the whole season. It's like you're going to fucking do this in, like, 10 days anyway. I don't get the big hoopla. But people love them some Kevin Spacey. Any weird gay Kevin Spacey shit, white people are all over it. I'm in on House of Cards. I think it's awesome. Some people were knocking season 2, saying it wasn't as good as season 1. I don't really see any difference between the two seasons. I guess 1 was a little bit better. Definitely excited for season 3. But and I'm not gonna lie, I went on Netflix right away, opened up season 3, and it said content unavailable, and I was like, god damn it. Florida teen becomes the first person in history to get a dick reduction. This, my friends, was my favorite story of the day. Feidelberg blogged it on Boston. Completely outrageous. A 17-year-old boy has undergone the world's first penis reduction surgery, surgeons claim. The American teen requested the surgery after his penis grew too large, restricting his ability to have sex or play competitive sports. The boy's surgeons were shocked when he came to them complaining that his penis was too big. When flaccid, it measured almost 7 inches in length and had a circumference of 10 inches, around the size of a grapefruit. Surgeons described it as being shaped like an American football. Football cock, hands down, story of the day. It's almost like a bad episode of like The Twilight Zone, or like a horror story. Like some dude gets a genie and makes a wish, like I wish I had the biggest dick on earth, and he's cursed with this football cock. The thing, you got to go on Barstool Boston and look at the pictures. It's straight up. It's like the size of a potato. It's shaped like a water balloon when you're first filling it up at the faucet, and it's like hanging low before you tie it off, and it becomes like a round ball. When it's like a long hanging water balloon, that's what this guy's dick looks like. I have no problem with my dick. I have a completely normal dick. My dick when I'm not aroused is embarrassingly small. When I'm in action, I just got a good average dick. I'm definitely a grower, not a shower. In the shower department, I could use a ton of help, but I'm not going to worry about that. So everybody always wishes they had a bigger dick, but this is true. It's like there can be too much of a good thing. You definitely do not want a dick the shape of an American football. That is not a good dick. And what's good now, though, is that he's going to have the best dick because he gets to go to the surgeon with an excuse. It's kind of like when you're in high school and a chick gets a nose job. There was always 1 or 2 chicks in high school who got a nose job, and they blamed it on a deviated septum. They were like, oh, no, this isn't cosmetic. I actually need this medical procedure. Oh, and by the way, I ended up just getting a perfect nose as a side effect. Bullshit. This is kind of like that, but he's got the excuse. He can roll up and be like, I need dick surgery, and it's actually a medical problem because I got a fucking pigskin in my pants. So now it's almost like these plastic surgeons are presented with like a giant block of clay, and they can just trim it down and mold themselves a perfect dick. I would have the perfect cock. If I could actually go to a surgeon, I would draw it out. I would sit down. I would do like 3D animations of my dick on the computer, explain exactly what I want. There'd be no weird veins. There'd be no nothing. You know how like half your dick's a different color? You know, like the top and bottom are totally different colors. None of that. I'd have unicolor. I have one color dick. It'd be like perfectly shaped, perfectly big. It'd be awesome. And my last question about football cock is to the religious nuts out there. When you see a kid with a dick that's 10 inches around when it's fucking flaccid, grapefruit dick, what's up with that? Where was God on that one? Was he just asleep at the wheel when he was making this guy? Was he like a little buzzed, a little hungover, and ended up giving little Johnny Q a fucking football cock? And don't give me that, oh, it's just part of God's plan. Oh, he has a plan for everyone. And, the test he set forth for this kid is having a gigantic, lopsided chode cock. Get out of my face. Chew on that, religious freaks. I basically just proved there's no God with this football cock. Shout out to the teacher who lost her disability case after trying to sue the school, saying she had a phobia of small children. This was in Ohio. Maria Willard. She just lost her appeal in federal court over her disability claim. Education Week provides the background. Willard worked for years as a foreign language teacher at a high school in Cincinnati. No problems. But when the district shifted, and in 2009, Willard got transferred to a middle school. She worked there for 6 months, then retired when her request to go back to the high school was rejected. Willard sued the district, arguing that her pedophobia, or fear of young kids, so this chick's like an anti-pedophile, fear of young kids should have prevented her from being transferred to teach the younger set of students. This, my friends, this is some male time heroism right here. This is some snake it till you make it Olympic shit. You're a teacher suing the district because you're afraid of kids. I gotta tip my cap. Round of applause to this bitch. Hun, you're a teacher. And I get it. I mean, the difference between high school kids and middle school kids, middle school kids are the biggest motherfuckers in the world. Those kids suck. High school, at least, some of the chicks are getting hot. Kids are calming down a little bit. You can survive when you're surrounded by teenagers in high school. When you're in that 6th, 7th, 8th grade mode where kids are just the fucking biggest dicks at that level. Chicks are becoming bitchy. Dudes are they're basically just constantly assholes because they're walking around with a loaded gun, just trying to shoot their load at any given moment. There's no redeeming qualities for middle school students. And this chick, Maria Willard, I guess she recognized it. I can't, you got to see her picture too. She's disgusting. She's got a turtleneck that goes up over her chin. She's got such a fat double chin. I respect your hustle, Maria. I wouldn't want to be a middle school teacher either. I will say that becoming a teacher probably was not the best career decision if you are in fact a pedophobia. If you're afraid of little kids, I don't know. Probably don't become a teacher where you're surrounded by them all day, every day. 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey is hot in the streets right now. I almost can't wait till this fucking movie comes out and Valentine's Day goes by because everyone's making such a big deal out of this shit. Middle school students were given 50 Shades of Grey crossword puzzles by accident. At least 5 students in middle school in Pennsylvania were given word puzzles based on the erotic novel 50 Shades of Grey. According to Pittsburgh's local ABC affiliate, the word search for the 8th grade class included words like bondage, erotic, handcuffs, intercourse, independent, intimidating, paddling, spanking, and submissive. First of all, we're going to throw independent in there as a 50 Shades of Grey vocab word? The fuck is that about? Bondage, erotic, spanking, intercourse, I get it. It's not like this fucking word search had gaping. It's not like bukkake was in there. Let's calm down. This is 2015. If you're an 8th grade student, you're probably doing 50 Shades of Grey shit at this point. When I was in 8th grade, I'm just happy to make out with a chick and grab her ass a little bit. Maybe get her, put her hand down my pants or some shit. 8th grade in 2015, you're probably doing anal. If you're an 8th grader this day and age, you're probably filming your own casting couch. You probably got a little black couch in your garage and you have girls come over and you film them and you fuck them. So I think 8th graders can handle circling words like handcuffs in a word search, okay? Let's calm down. As a matter of fact, they probably need to know about this shit. It's almost like sex education. It's like we could be blind to it and try to preach abstinence, or we can tell them that there's this whole kinky world of spanking and bondage and shit that you better get used to. Because it's the new age progressive world we live in, folks. Give him a fucking crossword puzzle. Teach a man to fish and he'll fish forever. Teach a 8th grader to find erotic words, and he'll fuck like a champ for the rest of his life. That's words to live by. Keeping with the 50 Shades theme, firefighters fear they may become tied up with a rise in calls over people getting trapped in compromising situations as a result of the 50 Shades effect. The brigade has said it's seen a rise in incidents of people getting stuck in compromising situations since the book was released, with 472 cases of people being trapped or stuck, often in household items. 28 incidents recently, people trapped in handcuffs, and 7 instances of men with rings stuck on their penises. I love when I see these stories. They're kind of hot these days. What's it called? TLC has that show, Sex Sent Me to the ER. And, you know, it's like New York Post headline news all the time when you hear about some couple who are, you know, they got to call the fire department because they're fucking too hard. And every time you see it, it's like they waited, like, way too long. Like, the ring has been stuck on their dick for, like, 12 hours. Or they were chained up for, like, 18 hours. I get that. I am not calling the fire department or the police department until it's an absolute last resort. If there's a ring stuck on my dick, I'm getting out the butter. I'm getting out the margarine. I'm working with all kinds of lube. I'm putting it in the freezer, trying to get it to shrink. I'm doing absolutely everything possible before I actually have to dial 911 and be like, I got a metal cock stuck on my ring. I got a metal cock stuck on my ring. Well done, Kevin. You got a metal ring stuck on my cock. It's absolute last case, last resort, last line of defense is calling the fire department. I mean, and that's the thing. You can't write a check your ass can't cash. Like, don't get down with the whole tie-up scene, and don't put foreign objects up your butt and shit if you're not really comfortable or capable of getting them out. Again, words to live by. More Valentine's Day weird shit. Waxing places. I don't even know what you call them. Waxing salons are getting the wackiest Valentine's Day requests. This time of year is when people get really adventurous, says Roman Padilla. If dinner and roses go over well, they want to surprise their partner. Valentine's Day is when we get a lot of shape requests for Brazilian waxing. Hearts are the most basic, but we receive requests for initials, stars, thunderbolts, and even faces. I gotta be honest, when I first started reading this, I mean, there's some weird shit here. Waxing has even emerged as a kinky couples activity. We've had requests for couples waxing in tandem, like couples massage. Fuck that. What do you think, I'm going to, like, sit side by side and get my back waxed while my wife gets her coochie stripped? Get out of town. I'm a pretty kinky, weird dude, perverted dude, but there's I got to draw the line somewhere, and tandem waxing is where I do it. This whole idea in general, I don't need shapes, although I was going to say, when I started reading this, I think it's ridiculous, but then I read Thunderbolt. If I'm, like, going down on a chick and she has a Thunderbolt right above her pussy, that's kind of cool. Not going to lie on that one. I could kind of get down with a Thunderbolt, straight out of, like, Mario Kart. Kind of like it. Actually, maybe any Mario Kart, waxing shape would be cool. Red shell, the Thunderbolt, just straight up Yoshi. Just Yoshi above your pussy. I could get down with all of that. Otherwise, ladies, I know that there's, like, this talk that pubic hair is back in. Bush is now cool. No, it's not. No, it's not. Wax your shit all off. Want it to be smooth? Want it to be clean? It's not a pedophile thing. People are always like, oh, what do you like, little girls? No, I just don't like hairy vaginas. And ladies, gonna get, just gonna be brutally honest, blunt about it here. You gotta make sure you wax or shave your butt. That's it. I'm just gonna lay it out there because sometimes it kind of goes undiscussed. It's kind of like a little awkward if you're a hot chick and you got a hairy asshole. You gotta take care of that. And you should just do it because your guy doesn't want to have to be like, hey, listen, you're really hot and like your pussy's great, but then you go like a little bit lower and that shit's really hairy. That's awkward for everyone. You don't want that. So just take care of it. Avoid the awkwardness altogether. On to the whitest story you'll hear, maybe ever, potentially of all time. This is caucasity at its highest. Cecilia Westbrook makes yogurt with her own vaginal bacteria. Westbrook noted that the most common bacteria that was found in a healthy vagina was the same bacteria found in yogurt. She figured she could easily whip up a batch of yogurt by extracting. Oh, God. I can't even read this. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. This is just some white people shit right here. If you got enough time on your hands that you notice that the ingredients of yogurt are somehow, I don't even know how you stumble upon this. Like, you're eating yogurt in the morning and you're reading the back and you look at ingredients. Yeah, we all do that. You read the back of the cereal box. Maybe you read the back of the yogurt. And then somehow you're like, oh, you know what? That same stuff is all up in my vagina. I'm going to manufacture my own yogurt from my own pussy juice. You have way too much time on your hands. You are way too white. And you are disgusting. And anyone who eats vagina yogurt is fucking vile. You are revolting. You're absolutely repugnant. Shout out to Google, who they acquired a patent for a new odor-removing wearable device. I'm looking at the sketch of it. It looks like a little square, like fan thing that apparently you hang on the neckline of your shirt or the waistline of your pants. The odor-removing device would have an activity sensor that can detect physical activity of its user and emits a fragrance to combat any offending odors. Google's device would not only avoid bad odors, but it would also help users avoid friends and coworkers. Now we're talking. The device would be a web-connected device and linked to the user's social network to detect if any friends or coworkers are nearby. First half of this device can go fuck itself. Second half is legit. For the first half, I don't need any odor masking devices. That shit doesn't work. That's like deodorant. You know how there's antiperspirant and deodorant? If you don't use antiperspirant, you're an animal. You're an absolute barbarian. Deodorant is just like this slick, gooey perfume mess that you rub on, and all it does is just combine with the stink. It's almost like Febrezing after you take a shit. You know how if you just smell Febreze linens right now, you'll automatically think of shit? Because that's the only time you really smell it is when it's mixed in with a poop smell. That's deodorant. It's like, well, now you're still sweating and your armpits still stink, and now you've got some Old Spice goo that smells good mixed in with it. That shit ain't working. So get out of my face with that. The second device, I don't even care about smelling bad. This is just a good idea in general. You wear a little device that's connected to your social networks, and it's got a GPS, and it can tell you where all your other friends are so you can avoid them. That's genius. That's a $1 billion idea right there. Because the last thing I want to do is see people. I fucking hate seeing people. I hate making plans, and I hate seeing people. Even like good friends, if I run into them, I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't want to talk to you right now. Unless I'm scheduled to see you and I know I'm going to see you and I have things to talk about and want to go do it, I don't want to see anybody. So I basically need this little device, and I need everyone else to wear them too, so that we can all avoid each other. Human contact in 2015, so overrated. Nobody wants to do it. Making plans and conversing, it's old hat. Shit's jumped the shark. So Google, get at me with this device, make it, and give it to me so I can avoid people at all costs. Finally, the Daily Mail, the actual Daily Mail here on Daily Mail, came out with a list of 30 things that you know your relationship has hit the comfort zone and how that's a good thing. They're saying when you hit the comfort zone and you do this stuff, that means you're going to make it as a couple. So the first few things to start out, like when you're not wearing makeup, not locking the bathroom door, wearing pajamas all the time around the other person, farting in front of them, not shaving your face or your legs, wearing your less attractive underwear, doing each other's laundry, going to the toilet with the door open, talking about health concerns. The list goes on and on. I can't even begin to understand how this is a good thing. The last thing, the death knell for any relationship is getting comfortable with each other. All this shit is terrible. Taking a shit in front of me, that means our relationship's gonna make it? No, bitch. That means next time that I'm maybe confronted with like straying or cheating, and all I can think about is the time that you blew up our toilet and turned 2 in front of me, that's not gonna help our relationship. No fucking way. Having hairy legs? Nope. Farting in front of me? Absolutely not. Number 18 is the worst. Telling them when they need a mint or deodorant. Oh my God. I swear to God, I can't tell you how many times I've almost whipped out the divorce papers when my wife is like, oof, you need a mint. Now, part of me is like, thanks for the look up. Like, thanks for the heads up. I appreciate the look. Apparently, I got stinky breath. But when you're like, ugh, You need a mint? I'm like, oh, yeah? Well, I need to punch you in the fucking face. How about that? How about you just, like, give me a mint or shoot me a piece of gum? You don't have to, like, blatantly be like, yo, your breath stinks, KFC. Give me a break. Last thing, go to this site, find these 30 things, and avoid them at all costs. Avoid them like the plague. The healthiest relationships are ones where you're basically like kind of afraid of them, and you basically are never yourself around the other person, and you always are on edge and trying to be fake because your usual casual self is probably pretty awful. You're probably pretty boring and gross. And the minute you show that to your significant other is the minute they probably bounce on you. Just facts here. Just facts in 2015. Shout out to the football cock kid. You're the hero of the day. It's Daily Mail, February 12th in the books. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow, maybe I won't. Probably won't because Fridays are Fridays, and I'm a pretty lazy dude. Ultimately, this still is mail time, so let's not get too crazy here. I'm out.